It kind of shows what a complex task shopping can be, particularly working with someone with a brain injury. There are so many components to it. It's physical, it's cognitive, it's psychosocial. There's a lot to it. So there are several elements we're kind of working on within that task, and it's about consistency. It's about giving for Chris, we're at a level where we are using one store that is very familiar to him before we consider moving on to generalising that between stores, whether it ever will. So for him, he has a supermarket layout plan, so he is able to visualise the whole supermarket on a piece of paper, and written on that piece of paper is all the products he might find, or the categories of products he would find in a particular aisle, and those aisles are labelled to help Chris organise the route he's going to take through the supermarket, and help with his planning of doing that. So as part of the process for shopping, he has to write his list, and we try to make sure that that list is written using that layout so that he can kind of formalise a list that allows him to weave up and down the aisles of the store rather than jumping from 1 to 5 to 10. Because actually you and I, when we go to the supermarket, we know in our head roughly where things are, and we'll go and get a certain vegetable and we'll know that the fruit is also there, so if we need fruit we'll go and get that while we're there. That's quite a complex thought process, potentially for someone with a brain injury. So he goes for the shopping list that is already created in an order. Then he has to remember to do things when he gets there, like scan my Waitrose card so that he's got his scanner ready. And then the other key elements that we're working on is him being able to remember to check best before dates, so that he's got responsibility for checking that things are going to last for that week. It's all about the week that he's working in. And then on top of that, it is finding products on the shelf. So he's moved from not being able to scan across an aisle and find exactly what the product is he needs, to actually once he's in the right aisle, he can pretty much find what he needs. So he has progressed from that point of view, and I think that's through repetition and familiarity and consistency. He's become familiar with what is where in the supermarket, which we all do, but for Chris that has taken a length of time in one very familiar store to achieve. So now he doesn't need to use brain space so much to actually locate items within an aisle. He now needs to work towards understanding which aisle the items will be in. But we've set up a structure for him to be able to do that. And then also it's the checkout. So it's his independence of the checkout. And there are several stages to checking out, especially when you have a scanner. So he's got to scan it, he's got to press continue, and then there are several different buttons he's got to press on the screen before he's able to put his card in and actually pay. And he's moved from needing support for the whole process to just needing an initial prompt. So small steps, but significant steps for him. So the goals we've currently set for him are around the number of prompts he requires while he's going around the supermarket. And interestingly, for some time his aim was to, well, it still is, to be independent, to go around the supermarket independently, and his support worker can sit and wait for him and have a coffee and purely drive him there and bring him home. And that's still true. He does want to be independent, but he doesn't want to be on his own, because social contact is important to Chris. So he doesn't want to be left to get on with his shopping. He wants someone with him. So although he will be aiming towards requiring no prompts regarding his shopping, he will still have someone with him because he wants a companion.